Recovery. Connecting us to the vision, connecting us to each other, connecting us to God. That's part of worship and things that we've done today as well. We want to equip you so that you feel ready and confident to serve and to lead in different areas. And then we want to build. We want to not only build our own lives, we want to be able to build, celebrate recovery, and see true growth this year. Just so you guys are aware, we grew last year. And sometimes it doesn't seem like it because it's like we just get used to seeing the same faces. And a year and a half ago, we were averaging about 18 people on a week. This last year, we've been averaging 30. So we've seen that's huge. That's a big thing. This year, right now, 2019, we would like to grow again. Ideally, I would like to see this room full of 40 to 50 people every week. And we could even go beyond that. Pastor Mark has a vision one day we need to be in the sanctuary. We need to be in the main auditorium because God's doing something and lives are being changed. This past year, we saw, I believe it's at least 6 salvations, multiple reconfirmations of their faith. That's a huge thing. God's changing lives. We had almost 60 first-time guests join us for Celebrate Recovery this last year. That's amazing. And as we learn to connect those people and draw them in, it's really easy to grow. Like when I say, we doubled and I want to double again, it's really not that hard because we had that many people come. It's now just connecting them and helping them find if this is the place for them, we want you back. If it's not, where can we help you connect with the church? Maybe it's Stephen Ministry. Maybe it's helping serve somewhere on a Sunday morning. Our goal as Celebrate Recovery is to connect people to God and to healing process through Jesus Christ. I'm going to share with you today a little bit about connecting to our team and just kind of the structure of Celebrate Recovery. For some of you, this might be new. For some of you, this might be review. You've maybe heard this before. You've seen it before in the leaders' books. But Celebrate Recovery functions under the leadership of Living Stones Church. So I have kind of here just a chart. We did this last year with our core team just to kind of go through the flow of how CR actually works. Who's in charge of what? If we have problems, how do we solve it? So Celebrate Recovery is a ministry that functions under the leadership of Living Stones Church, using the Celebrate Recovery program, curriculum, and DNA. You may hear this, obviously there's other Celebrate Recoveries in town. Some of you have been a part of Crossroads. I was there last night. They celebrated their 10-year anniversary last night. And Pastor Stu and Pastor Dan shared a bit last night, the pastors that oversee it there, their head pastor and then their overseeing pastor for Celebrate Recovery. And they figured in the last 10 years, somewhere between 1,200 and 1,400 people have been through their program. That's a part of, I'm here today because of what happened there. And this isn't an us versus them. They function the same way. Crossroads Church uses Celebrate Recovery curriculum. The church dictates how we use the curriculum. Okay? There's certain things that Celebrate Recovery wants. They want us to stick to the DNA. They want us to stick to the lessons and the acrostics and the verses that they've laid out. And then they say, have fun. Go run with it. So I want you to know that we're not bound by, that's why sometimes when it's like, we do things different, and I especially do things different, as you know, every week, it's like, we're going to do something different. That's not necessarily like anti-Celebrate Recovery. If you go anywhere in the world, Celebrate Recovery, the DNA is going to stay the same, but the head church, the host church, and the pastor is always going to dictate what that looks like. So we have Living Stones Church and Pastor Mark, who oversees us and helps guide that, and Celebrate Recovery program. I draw from both of those. I draw from our CR curriculum, and I draw from Pastor Mark. I meet with him regularly and talk about vision and plans and ideas, and sometimes he goes, that's a great idea. And sometimes he goes, no, Dad, that is not a great idea. And I go, okay, how do I reword this so that he says, yes, next meeting? That's what I do, because I manipulate. So I'm the ministry leader in this case, and then the next part here is our core team. So I connect with the church, I connect with the CR curriculum, and then as a core team, and any member of the core team can do this as well. But we all work together. This isn't the Dan Knorr show. I don't come in and say, this is what we're doing, and this is how we're doing it. It might seem that way sometimes because I come across that way a little bit as a leader. But we meet in the core team. And when we meet, I say, what do you guys think? What ideas do you have? How do we make this work? Here's some ideas I have. And we talk about it as a team, multiple people going through the good, the bad, and the ugly, and going, yeah, this is how we're going to make Celebrate Recovery work for Living Stones. Little side note there, and we'll get into it a little bit more today, but each of these, we are looking for apprentices for each of these positions. So if you are interested in being involved in a larger level, we'll tell you a little bit later on today what that can look like and how you can get there. Our training coach is to teach the vision. Our core team, they know me well enough now to know I'm a vision leader. That's how I lead. I'm big picture, let's dream, and then I bring them the big dreams and they go, okay, how do we break this down to actually make this big, crazy dream work? Part of our dreams last year, the vision, because some of you guys go, well, what is the vision? Well, the vision is to see people connect with Jesus, to see lives changed, and then how do we do that? Now we just do it different ways. So last year, part of the vision was our celebration nights. That's where we provided a free dinner. How many of you came on a celebration night? Did you enjoy it?
Yes.
Every single celebration night we had between 50 and 60 people consistently.
Wow.
Because we invite people, we invite friends, family, we invited other churches, we invited every single one we did. We did 3 of them this last year. We had between 50 and 60 people every single time. Now in that was the vision. That was part of our vision last year. So our training teacher, he teaches the vision. Our encourager encourages the vision. The assimilation coach promotes the vision. Ministry lead, I help direct the vision. And then our church liaison, which happens to be Christina, who joined us today. Give her a big hand. Her role with Celebrate Recovery is she attends our core team meetings. She also works in the church. And so she's part of the communication on how that works, how it looks. She also does all our printing for us, all of the bulletins. She, honestly, if you have a moment during the break, give her a hug.
Yeah.
She loves it. She loves hugs. So, Pastor Mark?
She's my administrative assistant. This is one of about 10 areas that she's helping me with.
Yeah, she does so much. And honestly, I put her to work, and I apologize sometimes that I put you to too much work, but we couldn't do what we do here without you.
Mm-hmm.
Lives are being changed because of you, Christina.
Yeah.
So this is kind of the flow of leadership and how it works here. We can go to the next slide. So our core team. Who are those people? So our training coach is Richard. As many of you know, he right now is in Mexico, enjoying non-minus 25 degree weather. So he's on a little bit of holidays. He has been a part of Celebrate Recovery here for the last, I believe, 5 years. Shirley is our encourager coach. She came in a couple years ago, and this year she's taking on our encouragement coach role, moving out of she's been our training coach as well this last year. But she's taking more of an encouragement role this year, and we'll go through what each of those mean as well. Our assimilation coach is Candace. She's helping with promotions and different things that we're doing, some of the web stuff, she helps with some of that with Christina as well. And ministry lead is myself. Look at that guy, wow. Sometimes I just gotta go, thank God you made me like that. Okay, next. So where do I fit in? So again, there's kind of a flow to this. I don't like saying hierarchy, but there's a hierarchy. All right? Because obviously Pastor Mark's in charge, and I submit to his leadership. We work very well together. He director. We also have a video today from Deb Jones. She's our national director to kind of speak to us a little bit as well. So that's one level, Pastor Mark and Livingstone's Church. Obviously, again, you can't just wake up and go, you know what, I'm going to be a pastor at Livingstone's. It takes the right connections, the right people, leadership, putting you into that position. Our core team, same thing. So these three of the top hierarchy here, these are really by appointment. And it's not necessarily earned. It's not necessarily, we've had people that, oh, why is that person now on the core team? Candace, for instance, I'm going to pick on her for a little bit here, but we couldn't do what we do without Candace. Like this last year, she didn't want a title, but she was basically me and Pastor Mark's assistant for Celebrate Recovery. And honestly, she's sharing today. She's going to be doing a couple of sessions here as well. And it's her first time. So we're going to be gracious and nice and support her and encourage her. But she's going to do great. And really, we couldn't do what we do without her. But we appointed her, Pastor Mark and myself appointed her and said, and it wasn't even me. Pastor Mark actually said, Candace is here. She's doing great. She seems administrative. How can we bring her in? It was by appointment only. Now, she'd only been here not even a year. And so some people instantly, well, I've been here longer. I should be rising up the ranks. It doesn't work like that. This is about God putting us in the right place at the right time. For me right now, that's a ministry lead. A couple years ago, that meant doing sound and music. And both roles were just as important. And if your role is greeting at the door, if your role is core team, if your role is being involved with CR on a bigger level and networking, and every single role is important. Yes. So the next level is probably where most of us fit in this room. There's three things here again. Share group and step study leaders. This is an important part of Celebrate Recovery. Serving and volunteering, and CR participants. So what we'll get into some of this again a little bit later today, but again, there's qualifications that will put you into these roles. Share group leaders and step study leaders, we are hoping that you have completed or are in the process of a step study. Okay? Especially if you're leading a step study, you need to have completed one. Unless it is our very first time doing, for instance, we are going to be doing, in the fall, we're going to be doing The Journey Continues, step study number 2, the second one. That'll be the first time those leaders have led that step study. But they've already done The Journey Begins at least once or multiple times. The next level is serving and volunteering. Turn to someone beside you and say, that's me. Because whether you have been here for a week, whether you've been here a month or years, we would love for everyone to go, I want an area to serve in. That's our hope. Larissa's here. She has been here, how long have you been coming? A couple months? October. And you know what? We can go, oh, you haven't done a step study yet. You would just sit down, be quiet. That's not what we want to do. We want to say, how are you going to serve? Where do you want? And we've been talking to her about some areas and go, okay, how do we plug you in? Doesn't matter if you've been here. We had a guy that came literally this week. Came Tuesday night. He was planning to come today and didn't. But we want you to find a way to serve. If you don't want to serve, we're not going to force you. And you are still welcome here. Everyone can be a participant in Celebrate Recovery. Okay? But I would encourage that your recovery really grows as you step up here a little bit. Next slide. How am I doing for time?
You're way past.
I'm way over?
No, the others were way over.
Okay.
That's the first, eh?
I'm usually long-winded. They book in extra time because it's like, yeah, damn. Last thing I want to talk to you about quickly is I've heard this said many times, but the best thing about working with people is people. I love people. People are great. You get to hear stories, but also the worst thing about working with people is people. It doesn't matter. You can maybe relate to that at home, your job, Celebrate Recovery. There's sometimes where it's like, wow, I met someone, and that was just. I used to work at a gas station pumping gas, and I liked it. And then I worked at an oil change, and I liked that because it was quick interactions. I had maybe 2 to 3 minutes with someone. And if they were really awesome, I was like, that was a sweet 2 to 3 minutes. If they were really awful, it was like, it was only 2 to 3 minutes. Thank God. Same at Celebrate Recovery. We're going to have all types of hurt, broken people coming in. And sometimes our interactions are going to be really good. Sometimes it's going to be bad. Sometimes we're going to have leaders that have been here for a while. Conflict will happen. Because we're people. Conflict happens sometimes within our core team. There's been times, I said something last week, and Richard came to me and said, hey, you said this, and you shouldn't have said it. I said, you were right. And I kind of played it off as that was a joke, but really I was like, no, I was wrong, and I shouldn't have said that. There was an opportunity there for offense. There was an opportunity for conflict to go bad. Conflict isn't a bad thing. It's how we're going to respond to it. So we will have conflict. Let's deal with it fast. Now, in your books, there is the FAST acronym. We'll go through that. Because CR loves acrostics. This one I actually made up myself. I believe the Lord just spoke to me. Actually, I was going through, you can go to the next slide. So I was going through this portion of Scripture. I'll go back to it. We're going back to FAST. Don't worry. That was fast. Man, you dealt with that so fast. I was going through the Scripture and praying, and this is how we want to deal with conflict. It says this, Matthew 18, 15 to 18. If your brother or sister sins against you, go and point out their fault, just between the two of you. If they listen to you, you've won them over. If they won't listen to you, take 1 or 2 others along, so that every matter may be established by the testimony of 2 or 3 witnesses. If they still refuse to listen, tell it to the church. And if they refuse to listen, even to the church, or leadership in this case, treat them as you would a pagan or a tax collector. Truly I tell you, whatever you bind on earth will be bound in heaven. Whatever you loose on earth will be loosed in heaven. Let's go back up now. Fast. Follow Scripture. The first thing we want you to do is review this Scripture. If you have any type of conflict, any offense, any irk that comes up where that person just rubbed you the wrong way that night, please take 2 minutes and read the Scripture.
Good advice.
We want to follow Scripture. That's our foundation. That's what we build our lives on. We're going to follow Scripture. Acknowledge your own part. It's really easy to go, oh, that person really made me mad. No. Before you even speak to them about it, take another few minutes and go, what was my part in this? What did I do? Where did I say something wrong? Because when we do actually meet them, we don't want this conflict to be we want to win them back, like Scripture says. So the next one, we follow Scripture, we acknowledge our part, then we go to the person. There's kind of a break in there. Now go to the person one-on-one, just like Scripture said. Hey, when you said this, Candace, it really hurt me. What did you mean by that? Oh, you didn't mean the way I took it at all. Oh, my own hurts and insecurities took what you said and blew it way out of proportion. I am sorry, I acknowledge my part. This isn't about, you said that, it hurt me, and you need to change. Right? Is this good? You guys learning something? So, and we've had those conversations. Both ways. Yeah. And where we've been able to now sit and acknowledge. Now, if we're not able to come to an understanding, we continue with Scripture. So we follow it, acknowledge our part, we're going to seek help. Maybe someone that's neutral between both parties. This isn't, I'm going to get my side, they're going to get their side. This isn't, I'm going to fight them, they're going to fight me. This is, maybe we need someone else in this. And then at the last step, if you listen, if someone kind of is a mediator and listens to both sides and says, hey, you were wrong in this and you were wrong in this, let's heal and bring it together. If that does not work, if there's no healing, because some conflicts don't. We have some right now as a core team where people have been offended with Celebrate Recovery. They've been offended with me, they've been offended, and we're dealing with things, and we're doing the mediation thing, and it hasn't worked, and we're going down some levels here. Finally, we take it to leadership. We take it to leadership. When we have conflict, we want to deal with it fast. That's kind of our quick talk on leadership, the flow of leadership, and how to deal with conflicts. If you have questions, we are going to do a question time later. With any of these sections, I would suggest just write your questions on the side of your notes. So that when we go later and go, is there any questions? You don't all just look at me like, no questions. Write it down. If I say something that you don't understand, write it down. Just take a note so that we can talk about it later. And at this time, I'm going to welcome Candace to come to the next session.